Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of NightMayr. Before I bring on my fabulous guest, you have one more chance to see me do stand-up before the new year. Sunday, December 28th, I'll be at Rodney's in New York City for Gino Bisconti's birthday party. Come see myself, Gino, Keanu Thompson, I think Mary Jane Murphy. I'm not sure who's on the lineup, but it should be a really fun time. Jake and Louie, he's a very fun puppet act. So if you're looking for an excuse to come to New York City one more time before Zoran ruins it, that'll be Sunday, December 28th at Rodney's in New York City. It's the old Dangerfields Comedy Club. So you can get tickets on my website, ChrissieMayr.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe this channel, this episode. Just like and subscribe everything you see. I don't really know how this shit works. I'm so happy to bring on a very good friend of mine, a very cool guy. He's got a lot of fun stories. Comedian, podcaster, former NYPD detective, sergeant, all the things. I may have screwed up his intro already. You can listen to his show, the Police Off the Cuff podcast, on Spotify, everywhere, YouTube. He's everywhere. Welcome to the show, Bill Cannon.
It's great to see you, Chrissie. You look fantastic.
Stop it.
And
oh my God.
And you're a mommy now. So
I'm a mom now.
Not mommy like in the Hispanic sense. Mommy. Ooh, mommy. You know,
I would like to be that. I would like to be a mommy with an I.
Yeah, that's right. Then M-O-M-M-Y.
But I have, I'm gonna work on it, and then come spring, I'm gonna get back out there walking across these construction sites to see if maybe I could be a mommy.
So you get guys to whistle at you and stuff.
Maybe, you
gotta get back in the pool because I know you were a good swimmer.
Oh yeah, I was. I actually am still in the pool. Never left the pool. I actually take the baby every week for swimming lessons. He's been in swimming lessons since he was 9 months old.
Wow.
And he's about to go to the Olympics. No, he can kind of float. He's not even 2 yet, so they want to get them to a point.
That's the best time to put them in the water.
Oh yeah, before they get afraid, and they want to get them to a point where if they fall in, they can turn around and grab the side. Yeah. Save themselves, because I'll be on my third pina colada, and I want to get you self-sufficient. Bill, we've known each other how many years now? A
long time.
A long time.
Probably like 15 years.
15 years. Some people might know this, but my husband, back then, boyfriend, Frank, was a producer for comedy shows up here in Westchester. It was called Noma Comedy, north of Manhattan. And I think that's how he scooped you up.
Yeah, I used to run the mic.
Into his talent pool.
I used to run the mic at Pleasantville
was it Lucy's?
Lucy's, yeah.
That was a great room.
That was a great room.
And so fun. And then COVID and the lockdowns, and he just didn't want to deal with spacing people 6 feet apart and all that crap. So he hasn't really.
Can you believe we went through that shit?
I really can't. And I was just at the Wegmans today, I think in Harrison, or is it White Plains? And there were still, and I remember the last time I was there was the lockdowns, and it was all this weirdness. And me and Frank were like, we're just not going to wear masks. And what are they going to throw us out? What are they going to throw, not let us pay for our groceries and leave? And that was one of the first places I remember we were kind of testing the waters on standing up for ourselves. And today, December of 2025, there were still people in this Wegmans wearing masks, and I just can't believe. And it's I feel bad for these boomers that all they watch is legacy media, and they've just been so propagandized and kind of brainwashed on the whole COVID thing. But maybe they think, maybe they've convinced themselves wearing the mask this long, it's kept me alive, so I might as well keep going with it. But I feel bad. There was a guy in church a couple rows behind me last Sunday. I'm humble bragging about going to church, by the way. He was and I turned around, I'm the poor guy's wearing a mask. I'm why? But there's no telling these people, yeah, you can take it off now. We're fine.
You see, the worst is when you're driving on the highway and you see some guy in his car by himself with a mask on, and you're is that Bernie Sanders? Who is it?
They're worried about, someone's droplets coming out of their car, entering their car, picking it up through the I don't know.
I just had COVID 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. You look great. That's why you're so thin.
No, it was just annoying. And I hung around for about 2 weeks.
How did you know it was COVID? Did you take a test?
I got tested. Yeah, I tested. Because one of my friends is immunity compromised, and I was supposed to go out to dinner. And I said, look, I can't go because I got COVID. I go, let's go next week. And so I tested again, and I was.
That's nice of you.
Well, I mean,
I would cough in their face and go, toughen up.
No, he had like an aortic valve thing, so I wasn't going to screw around with that shit. So
I don't have anybody. I don't know anybody with a bad valve. That's nice of you. So you had it, and it was like what you had for like a
but
week.
it was mild compared to the when I first. I did get vaccinated twice.
You had to for the cop thing, right?
Yeah, no, I was off the job then, but I was just like I believed all the nonsense, and but I didn't get how people get crazy and they had like 4, 5, 6
all
vaccines.
The boosters.
No.
So you got the first round, which was the 2-shot, and then you got 1 booster.
That's it, yeah, and that was it. And I said that's enough.
And then.
And I came to my senses.
Did you feel like, was everybody around you getting it? Did you feel like you were pressured to get it?
I got it at the very end of COVID. It started in 2020.
Yeah.
And I think my wife got it first, and then she gave it to all of us. And I had the vaccine, so it was somewhat mild, but it still sucked to get it,
So you feel like the vaccine like helped you?
I think it did a little bit, yeah. I mean, there was hysteria to that. My gym was closed. I used to take spin classes. They would have the spin classes outside.
Oh, wow. At that point, you might as well just ride a bike outside.
Yeah, outside. And I mean, look at all the false information. You can get it off a piece of furniture. You can do wiping down the equipment in the gym. Now they know that was all bullshit.
People washing their groceries. That was fun for a while.
Yeah, and right. Going to a supermarket was an experience, right?
Yeah.
They made you wait online because they can only have X amount of people in the supermarket at one time.
They were just like testing out to see like how obedient everybody would be and how much they could get away with, and if they could push the digital ID and the digital vaccine passport and all that stuff. So luckily,
even going into a restaurant or bar in New York City, you had to show you were vaccinated. It was ridiculous. Right?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to do it. I was like, I knew, because I was still doing my show at Compound Media at the time. I was like, okay, I know I can go to this one deli, and I know I can go to this one like Dunkin' and Starbucks. Like, I am good. Like, I have places to go to get food. And I was like, at a point where I was like, yeah, I guess if I never go to another bar or restaurant in the city, I'm good. Like, I just didn't, it wasn't worth it to me. What's up, Rhinoceros? Thank you for the 1999. I already like Bill. Honest, can anyone believe we're living through this crap? I guess I can believe it. I'm actually like almost like surprised it's not worse. Like I'm kind of skeptical that it's kind of like calmed down for a bit. I just was like ready to be kind of like in fight mode.
But Chrissie, besides all of that crap, the world's a strange place right now, You got this guy Zoran Mamdani going to be the mayor of New York City in January.
Did you think he was going to win?
I knew he was going to win. I mean, first of all, Cuomo is a bad guy. He really is a bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
And all these people loved him when him and his brother were doing that comedy act during COVID,
People love pervy Italians.
Yeah, well, that's what he was. And the thing was, he's like a thug. He's like a mobster type guy, And I think people finally saw that. And then Eric Adams was probably, after de Blasio, he's number 2.
Because he was a former cop. And isn't that why he won?
People say that he was a cop, but he was never a cop in the real sense of being a cop. He was an activist that used the job to elevate himself. And he made captain. I can't say firsthand because I never met him. I never worked with him. But I know people that worked with him, and they said he was the worst.
Wow.
He was not a cop. He was an activist. He started the group called 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care. So it was an activist organization to elevate his
First I thought you said like, who cares? I'm like,
who cares? Well, he cared.
Wow.
But he had like pretty much the most corrupt administration probably in the history of New York City. And then, he has that position. Whenever someone calls him on anything, he pulls out the race card.
Oh, well, yeah, it's a good card. I wish I had the race card.
He pulls out that Joker, And And he blames it on that. You've done pretty well for yourself, Eric Adams,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so have the people that you surrounded yourself with, except they all got caught. They all came to city government to make money.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just now learning. Like, I had Larry Sharp on, was it last week? And he's running for governor of New York. And
this week.
Oh my God, that was just. This is Monday. Just a couple days ago.
It's a manic Monday.
Hey, so much has happened. And he was telling us all about just how corrupt the judges are in New York City, and a lot of them deserve to lose their jobs, and just like they're really beholden to their party, and their job is supposed to be they decide like what laws get enforced, but instead they do whatever their party tells them to do.
But it's an upside down world. What's up is down, and down is up. You see people commit horrific crimes, and because of bail reform, they just go get arraigned and they let them out.
Mm-hmm. Must be nice crazy. To like just confidently like I'm just gonna loot this Target, and I know that I'll have a new TV for Christmas, and I'll be out of jail in no time at all.
Yeah, and I'll get to use the TV too.
Is Bill's microphone okay? Should I push it closer to him?
A little closer?
It could be a little closer.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
And God, I have so many things to ask you. I want to get into like our sort of like, we touched on our origin story. How did you go from being a cop to, I guess, to then being a detective? Like, because you were pretty high ranking. And then how did you get from there to doing comedy?
Well, as a police officer, I was always active, and I worked in a unit called anti-crime, which no longer exists.
Because they're like, bring the crime back.
Well, yeah, exactly. Anti-crime was a plainclothes unit within a precinct, and you focused on street crimes. And I did that as a cop. And then I got promoted sergeant with less than 5 years on the police department. And my goal was to become an anti-crime sergeant. And I did. And I loved working anti-crime. And then I went from anti-crime to the detective squad, the robbery unit.
Where did they have you working? Like what part of the city?
Well, I was on the Upper West Side. One of my first precincts was the 2-0. And then I worked in the 2-4, the 2-6. And then at some point when I was in the robbery unit, they transferred me to El Barrio. That is a Rose in Spanish Harlem, which was a great RIP unit, a great robbery unit, great detectives. The Spanish Harlem is almost all housing projects. So at the time, very violent neighborhood, a lot of murders, a lot of shootings.
I bartended up there for a while at the this place called the Duck. I think it was in the like 110s. Like
that was the 2-3 if it's on the east side.
Yep.
Yeah. It was an interesting precinct. Rayos is in that precinct. In fact, when I was in homicide, I responded to the murder at Rayos, and that was a very interesting story.
What year was that?
I forget exactly what, 2000, I want to say 2006. But it was interesting because, Rayos is this shishi place, has 8 or 9 tables. You can't get a reservation there. You have to know somebody.
It was in 2004.
2004. Wow, it was even further than that. So we get a call that someone was murdered at Rayos. So I was in Manhattan North Homicide at the time.
And you're like, good, I'm hungry.
Yeah. So I go there, and I think that the body wasn't there. They must have, because they probably tried to save him, thinking he would live. And the story was, the guy who was shot and killed was a made guy. I forget the Genovese family, one of them.
That means in the mob.
Right, he was in the mafia, but he actually was a made guy.
That means what? You did whatever
No, it means you are a member of La Cosa Nostra.
Okay, you had to, you got initiated.
The oath, and
you named all the cereals.
You have to get your button and all of that stuff. You have to kill somebody. Anyway.
You have to kill someone?
Well, if they ask you to kill someone, you have to do it.
I could never. Right, I'll scratch that off my list.
So anyway, there was a Broadway singer, and I don't remember what her name, but she was singing a song, and the place was packed. And the wise guy, the made guy, says, I wish that wailing slut would shut the hell up, right?
Wailing
Shut the fuck up, he said, right?
Okay.
So this old guy, his name was Louis Barone, Louis Lump Lump. That was his nickname. He was like a bookie. He was a mob associate. He goes, hey, buddy. He goes, take it easy. Give the lady a break. Have a little respect. He goes, fuck you. He goes, I'll fuck you right in the ass. And the old man goes, no, you won't. And he pulls out a gun and he shoots him dead right at the bar. And
over that?
Yeah, and one of the shots miss him and hit a guy sitting at a table in the leg who was sitting with one of the owners of Rayo's, who happened to be an attorney. And one of the owners was a guy named Frank Pellegrino, actually.
Right.
It wasn't your husband.
No, I married the wrong one.
The other guy was an attorney, and he didn't want to testify.
The guy who got shot in the leg?
No, the attorney who was sitting with the guy who got shot in the leg. The attorney who was the owner of Rayo's.
Right.
So he made a statement to one of the detectives, but then when he got down to court, he said, "Oh, I didn't see nothing," type thing, you know.
That's like, but you did.
But Louis Lump was caught walking out of the restaurant, the gun, like leave the gun, take the cannolis. He left the gun on the floor.
But took the cannolis.
But he took the cannolis, yeah. And he was arrested right away. He went to prison. They gave him manslaughter 1. He got 15 to life. He died in prison. He was like 67 years old.
Wow.
I think he only lived about 5 years in prison.
I don't know how it's worth it. Like, over to just like, well, I had the last word on that argument.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid, right? But everyone in Rayo's, it was like, they all became uncooperative. They all became imitation wise guys. I didn't see nothing. The bartender, his name was Vinny the Vest. And we're like, did you see? Oh, no, I was bending down washing. I wanted to slap him, I was bending down washing glasses. I wasn't going to slap you across the head with my 9, But the other disgusting thing was everyone from the police department showed up because they wanted, they wanted to they wanted a contract in Rayo's, which means they wanted a reservation. So they wanted to show their face,
Oh.
And what we wanted to do, which was the proper thing to do, was to empty the restaurant out on a city bus and bring them all to the 2-3 precinct so we could interview everyone. They were having none of that. They went to ballistic. And all of our big bosses, they act tough. They talk the tough thing. And then when we said we wanted to do that, yeah, just interview them here, which was totally bullshit.
Why is that not a good idea?
No, because you want them on your home turf and
a little
by
nervous.
your rules. Yeah. You don't want to be in a restaurant where they're all going, I didn't see nothing, and it's how all of them saw nothing,
Yeah.
But it turned out the guy admitted to it. The Louis Lump, was brought into the 2-3 precinct. 2 detectives sat him down, and they said to him, "Why were you carrying a gun?" He goes, "What do you mean? You haven't heard?" And they go, "What?" He goes, "Orange alert." Remember the terrorist alerts?
Yeah.
Be red, green, whatever. Orange was pretty high. He was carrying a gun because he's afraid of terrorists. Orange alert, which was sort of funny.
They could have used him at Brown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. So yeah, I feel like we keep jumping around a lot. That's so interesting though. So you're a detective, you're a sergeant, you're mostly working just in Manhattan.
All Manhattan.
Manhattan. They didn't
but your investigations take you all over the place.
So you could go to Staten Island.
Oh yeah, you go anywhere. Yeah, if you go any part of the city, detectives get to go away a lot. They go to other countries.
Oh,
the Dominican
fun.
Republic. They take trips. Depending on where the case takes them. They actually do travel,
Did you ever do that?
Nah, bosses usually don't go. I was a sergeant, so usually don't get any trips.
So you became a boss in like less than 5 years?
Yeah, I took, you just had to pass a test, and then at some point I got promoted to detective sergeant, which means I made lieutenant's pay. But I was in, a suit and tie job, which...
Were you thinking of doing, what is it, you can work for 20 years and then you can retire?
No, I did almost 27 because, at 20 years you get half pay. At 27 you get half plus 7/60ths, plus all the overtime, and you get half. So yeah, I have a pretty nice pension.
Okay, wow. Very cool. And then, so that's probably, so you were like, so after you retired, then you were like, what could I do now? Oh,
yeah,
stand up.
I went to a full-time teaching job at a college.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even have any time off. I taught all criminal justice courses, criminal investigation, sex crime investigation, police in the community, intro to police, all that bullshit. But I made some good money teaching. Some years I'd make $100,000 teaching.
Wow.
Plus my pension. So I was able to put my 2 sons through college, and neither one of them have any loans, and they went to Elon University, both of them. I wasn't the only one. My wife helped, and my father-in-law kicked in like 20%.
Wow.
So, but they got out of college without owing a dime, and they went to a great school, both of them.
Oh, what a good dad.
Well, that's a good thing to have these days, because when you get out of college, you don't make any money, and you've got to still pay back loans.
Yeah, I feel like you can make an argument now that a college degree is a bit more useless than it was like 20 years ago.
You see these schools like Columbia University, $100,000 a year to go there.
Oh my God. Yeah. And I thought it was a lot when I went to school. It was 36 grand a year. And I thought that was insane. And it was.
Well, it was during your time.
Yeah. And my mom would remind me, she's like, just letting you know my entire salary is going to pay for your school. So don't be bringing back a C. So
I was part of the state system, not the penal system, the State University of New York system.
oh yeah, the SUNY
Nassau
school.
Community, Buffalo State, and then I got my master's at John Jay, which was CUNY.
Right.
But they were all cheap, cheap schools. It
No, that's
wasn't like-
very smart. That was always my mom's threat. If I didn't do better in school, she'd pull me out and put me in Nassau Community. And I was like, I don't want to be.
Which wasn't a bad school.
I don't want to be
though.
with those dirt bags. It's like everybody from high school who like had no ambition ended up at Nassau, and plus there was no like diving program there, so that's what motivated me to stay.
When I
in.
took my kids to look at state schools, my son was like, "I
Yeah.
don't like how the kids look here. They look like poor kids."
It's important. You don't want to go somewhere looking at a bunch of poor looking
That's right,
people.
man. I recognize that kid. He goes to that other school. I don't want to go here. And I took him to see Geneseo,
Oh right.
which at the time was like the #1 SUNY in New York State. And he looked at it like it was the Bowery.
Oh,
I was like, okay, Jake.
I'm so familiar with that. Yeah, like my sister went to Binghamton, my brother went to RPI, but we looked at a bunch of schools for him. Like, I think he was looking at Rice at one point.
In
like,
Texas, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He was looking at like Union. He was like the best student, I think. Where else was he looking at? Lehigh.
That's a great school in Pennsylvania.
He
right?
should have gone there. He got like a full ride
That's
and
an
turned it
engineering
down.
school.
Turned it down, I guess, because he thought that the nerds were better at RPI or something. But the girls were uglier. Whatever. He's fine now. He's married.
Is he an engineer?
Yeah, civil engineer. And like that's just the engineers that are really nice to all the other engineers. It sounds like an easy job, doesn't it?
I think college is really just so it gets you from 18 to 22 without getting killed or without getting stupid, right?
Like a babysitter, like an
In a way,
expensive
yeah, because
babysitter.
what are you going to do between 18 and 22?
You should probably work, but that's the thing. If you really know, it's probably good still for people that want to do something specialized. Like if you want to go into medicine or go into, I don't know, I want to do brain surgery or I want to make birdhouses. Well, that you don't need to go to college for that.
I think that the Israelis have it right. Make everyone do 2 years of army
A military.
service.
Yeah. Get a
I think
6-pack, get in shape.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I was a knucklehead between 18, even longer than 18 and 21. I was a knucklehead for longer than that. I got my college degree, but I didn't do shit. I wound up tending bar for like 5 years, which to me was, when I look upon it, I think there was some good things about it. You learn a lot about, but I think it's a waste of time. I think it's a dangerous profession because you can get caught in that profession and never get out.
Bartending?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I bartended for a little bit, and it's like
Easy money, right?
not only easy money, but like the place. Well, I worked somewhere that it was like a Coyote Ugly situation. Like the guy who owned the Patriot, which is where I worked, also owned Coyote Ugly, and like
Where was Coyote Ugly?
somewhere in the city. I don't remember.
I remember the name. I don't remember where it was.
The Patriot was on Chambers and Church Street, and I worked there because, and you know how it is in Manhattan, you have to have experience to work there. You have to have like good experience, and I had none. And so there was a sandwich board outside the bar that said "Shameless Saturday Night Sluts Wanted," and I was like, I feel like I could get in here. Like I feel like this is my kind of place, and then they hired me.
Calling, right?
But it was a slippery slope to a lot of the girls would that worked there would do like cocktailing at strip clubs, and then that's like you're right there. Now you work at a strip club,
prostitution.
yeah, and then you're a prostitute, which you'd make way more money. But I was like right there, so
You're right there.
I was
No, but you understand. You were a bartender. Bartending is like, look, you make quick cash, but you got no health insurance. You don't really get time off or vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't work, you don't get paid.
yeah,
So it's the worst, really, when you think of it, right?
yeah.
But
And
there's
it's
people that
exhausting.
stay in that for 30, 35, 40 years. I mean, it's a bad profession,
Yeah, they're like, well, then they end up, they work at a really good restaurant in the city. But yeah, still, I don't even know if they get benefits
Well,
there.
for that, the best jobs are at the hotels because they're all union. Bartenders are union. They get
Oh,
health
yeah.
insurance. They get all of that stuff. I knew a bartender named Norman that worked at the Ritz-Carlton, and he had worked in that business for years, and he had health insurance. He had everything, a 401k.
Yeah. Probably the most exciting thing you would do at your job would be like, pull Tara Reid out, like get her into a wheelchair. Turns out nobody drugged her, by the way. She just drugged herself. She just drank herself.
You meet some interesting people, but you also meet some, some real losers too.
Oh yeah. So how did you go from teaching to comedy then?
I was looking to try all different things, that I never had a chance to do when I was a cop, because I worked crazy hours, I would go to work sometimes and not come home the whole 4 days, Because you get a murder or you get a shooting, so you'd stay at work,
Where do you guys sleep?
We had dorms I worked out of an office building, 3280 Broadway, which is owned by Columbia University. So we had dorms there, and sometimes you really legitimately would be at work 2 to 3 days straight without going home.
Whoa.
And so, once I was done with work, I was like looking for things to do besides teaching, which I liked. I didn't love teaching. I liked it. I thought it was fun. I liked the kids. I got to do a lot of stand-up doing teaching too.
Yeah,
I got a lot of practice. I would try jokes and stuff on the kids, and then be like, I taught at almost a 99% black school. Black and Hispanic.
You were like, I recognize some of you.
No, they would be like, Cannon, you play too much. They would say to me,
You play too much, homie. And you'd be like, what does that mean?
Sometimes one of the girls said to me, some of your jokes are like grandfather jokes. I go, that's not funny, You trying to tell me I'm old,
Did you need a degree to teach? Or
yeah, you need a master's degree.
So when did you get your master's?
I had a bachelor's when I went on the police department, and I went back to school in 2000. And I got my master's at John Jay in 4 years. And it was tough because then 9/11 happened.
Whoa.
And it was, it was tough. And then I got into the homicide squad. I was working all kinds of crazy hours and going to school. It was tough. Plus, being daddy and all of that stuff. But I thought it was important to get a master's in case my second life, when I retired, I would need more education.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And then when I started teaching, and it turned out I had taught at the school for total 10 and a half years.
Oh, wow.
When I retired, I had already been teaching there for 5.5 years, and I taught another 5 years, but full time.
Wow.
So then I said, I tried comedy. And I took the course at Gotham Comedy with Jim, I can't think of his name now, heavy set guy. He was a very good teacher. And it was like an 8-week course. Culminating with you performing at Gotham. I took a class
at first too, and then I got into doing bringers. But
it's a tough look. I think it's a young woman's game. It's
absolutely a young person, specifically young man's game, because you need to sink 10 years into doing it, and so let's say you do that when you get out of college, you're 22, 23, 24, 25. So now those 10 years that you need to sink into comedy, if you're a woman, those are your meeting your husband and starting a family years. And not very many women want to sign up for that. Plus, when you're on the road, it's very icky. It's gross. It's tough. It's a lot of roughing it. It's
look, I met a lot of good people doing comedy, but the whole experience of it, going to these open mics, it's a lot of fucking losers too. Mostly losers.
It is mostly losers.
Yeah.
They're doing women do comedy because they need validation and they might have daddy issues. But the men, I feel like they're not particularly good looking, unless, I know Matt Rife is the one, he's more of a TikToker that got into comedy. But if you're doing the old method of open mics into stand up, the way, it was to 10, 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, you got to just log a ton of hours. It's guys that are you're funny and you're not particularly good at anything else. And obviously if you were crushing it in a job, making a ton of money, you wouldn't drop out to do comedy.
No. But some of the people that make it, they make it in comedy, most of the time they go away from doing stand-up and they become in sitcom. Look at Adam Sandler.
Right.
He apparently wasn't a very good stand-up comic, but he's a funny guy. You know? I don't think Seinfeld is a very good stand-up. I think he sucks.
Really?
But I think he's great on the show Seinfeld.
Great. Yeah.
He's a character, Same thing, Richie Romano. His brother used to work with me in the 2-3. His brother was a sergeant downstairs.
Oh, wow.
And that was where they got the sergeant in the show, Everybody Loves Raymond. That was his real, his brother. It was the sergeant.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, I don't think he's really a good stand-up either. But I heard he's worth $100 million from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Ray, like, ma. Wait, how do you do a Ray? Ma.
Oh, God. But that's the people that make it. That's how they make it usually. But the same thing, Eddie Murphy, I'm from Long Island. You're from Long Island. He did all those Long Island clubs. Richard Nixon's White House Inn. Remember all those places?
Is that near Governor's?
It was in that, I think it was in Merrick or around that area. But, and then did he go to Nassau? I'm not even sure. I think he did.
Hold on, make sure that mic is pointed at your mouth. I think it dipped. I think it dipped up.
He, Eddie Murphy, I mean, he's brilliantly talented. He started out on the whole Long Island circuit, too.
A lot of funny people from Long Island.
And
also Amy Schumer.
What's his, Billy Crystal was from Long Island, Long Beach, I think. Yeah, some talented, but, something that's the tiniest percentage makes it in comedy, right? And then,
so many things have to line up. Yeah, you have to be like incredibly dedicated, and or incredibly talented, or incredibly lucky.
Yeah, it is a lot. And you know the real good ones. It's not just that they have good stage presence and good. They got to take a lot of time and write. They got to write jokes all the time. And I never really got the total great knack of writing jokes because there is a method to it.
You weren't like I'm going to sit down every day and write.
No. I was more of a storyteller with jokes than someone that wrote really, jokes like misdirection. That's a hard sort of technique to use, right? Do you use misdirection a lot?
Yeah, but it just sort of like comes naturally. It just depends on what your natural sense of humor is, too.
Well, all different techniques you can use. And sometimes I'll tell a story, I'll tell some jokes, and some other comic will come up to me and say, do this with that bit. That's a good bit.
Do you not?
And
like
I didn't even think of it.
Oh, okay.
And no, I'm glad they helped me. This one guy who I didn't particularly like came up to me and gave me one of my best fucking jokes.
Oh wow, which one was it?
It was the one with the I don't know exactly, but I used to do a joke about 9/11 where
you're supposed to never forget your 9/11 jokes.
The birds were all at Fresh Kills in Staten Island were all eating the body parts of the.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Cool.
So they had cops shoot the seagulls, and and then I made up this part that so people from PETA came to the Fresh Kills and started protesting like, oh, why do you have to shoot the seagulls? Why can't you just trap them and bring them to New Jersey? And then I used to say, well, because they have wings and they'll just fly back.
It's true.
And then I said, maybe we should shoot the people from PETA. And some of the people in the audience didn't really love that joke.
Why did you trap them and bring them to New Jersey?
Yeah, that was the next part of that. Exactly. And then I segued into going to the Miracle on the Hudson where I met Sully Sullenberger.
You met Sully?
Yeah, and he had landed the plane and saved everyone's life. And he looked at me and he goes, I think I know you. And I said, I don't know if you do. He goes, aren't you the guy who shot all those birds at Fresh Kills? And it was just like, and someone gave me that, I think, that line.
That's so funny. So he had seen your bit?
No, he hadn't. I made all that shit up.
Okay.
I really did meet him.
Okay.
No, I really did meet him, but I just made the whole
that's
thing
funny.
around it, But
Sully's the man. And I feel like you don't really, most people don't know who Sully is unless they're from the tri-state area. Like
he landed the Miracle on the Hudson.
Sully is. Matt's 22. He doesn't. Sully was
he's only
hero.
22.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sully Sullenberger. What happened was near LaGuardia there was too many damn pigeons. Not pigeons, seagulls. So they would actually fly into the engines of jets landing and taking off, and jets could crash.
Happens.
It still happens. Bloomberg, who was a realist, said just kill these fucking seagulls. But then people in New York, don't kill the seagulls, kill the people. Let them fly into the jets,
Wow.
So Sully Sullenberger, the birds flew in, and you could smell burning seagulls going into the engines.
Smell like hamburger.
I guess whatever, or chicken maybe.
Yeah,
Everything
like
smells
someone
like
making
chicken.
fried chicken back there.
So you could see how calm this guy was. He says,
Wow.
flight, whatever, blah, 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 requesting permission to land at Teterboro. I have an emergency here. They said granted. He goes, no, I'm not going to make it.
Where did they originally take off from? And then the birds happened.
LaGuardia.
LaGuardia. Okay, then the birds came in. He's like, I got to do
Yeah, he
Peterborough,
goes, I got to
which is in
land at
Jersey.
Teterboro. Yeah. And they said, you permission granted. And he says, no, I'm going to go down on the river. And they were like, what? What? He goes, I'm not going to make it to Teterboro. I'm going to have to land the plane on the river. And they were like, oh, shit. And then, you know, if you ever watched the landing, it was unbelievable. It was perfect.
Let's see if you can find it on YouTube. Sully Sullenberger. And this is called A Miracle
And I
on the
wrote the
Hudson.
report for the police department on that.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I wrote the report. I remember. I think I have it somewhere.
He was like a very seasoned
He
pilot.
trained other pilots in emergency landings and emergencies.
Was his specialty water landings? And he's like,
No,
woohoo, I get
his
to do it.
specialty was emergencies on aircraft. And
Wow.
he taught other pilots how to deal with it.
That's awesome. So it's like kind of no big deal for him.
Well, he saved everyone's life. One woman, the most serious injury was one woman, I think a stewardess broke her foot. That was it.
It was because her heels were
And he
too
went
high.
back into the plane 5 times to make sure everyone got out with the water like 6 to 8 inches.
Holy crap.
What other captain would do that? He had balls, you know.
And wasn't it cold? Wasn't it?
It was in February, I think.
February?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's bad.
And again, everyone in the police department responded to that. Everyone wanted to go to see what was there.
That's
you know?
cool. Were there boats in there at
there
that
were
time?
tons of Circle Line. There was police harbor boats, these tourist boats. That's to
So
save
how
all
did
the
they
people.
tell the boats to like get out of the way?
No, the boats went and rescued some of the people that were standing on the wing. There's great pictures of people standing on the wing of the
Yes,
plane.
there's that picture of everybody standing on the wing.
Amazing, yeah, it was amazing, and
Damn.
yeah, it was
All over birds.
it was one of those things that that's you really like proud to be a cop when you go to jobs like that. Same
Why?
thing with 9/11. No, because you feel like it's your privilege to witness this
Something
real
cool
historic
happening.
event like this. Yeah.
Yeah, look at those pictures there. Everybody scroll down. Everybody walking out on the wings.
And you know what was crazy? People that were on that plane that all was saved. They all went into this hangar. They were wearing these jackets that they gave them. They all got
Were they
wet
in
and
the
stuff.
water?
Some of them, just their feet though, really got in
Yeah.
the water. Some of them took a cab, went right to LaGuardia and got on another plane.
Stop
I was
it.
like, how could you do that?
No
Yeah.
way.
I would have been drinking for at least a week after that.
Well, maybe they were like, I got to get home. Maybe they're still in shock.
I used to do another joke about that. There was this guy who just went home, didn't tell anybody he was on the plane. So one of the detectives calls the guy, goes, yo, dude. He goes, were you just on that plane that landed on the Hudson River? He goes, yeah. He goes, why the fuck didn't you tell anyone? People are looking all over for you. He goes,
wow.
I'm all right. I'm home. And I go, obviously, I'm talking to you. But
They thought you were at the bottom of the
like, yeah, he didn't
friggin'
tell
river.
anyone he was okay. He just went home. Like, he didn't think that anyone would look for him.
Oh, wow. Oh my God. This was so cool. Were there any kids on this flight?
You know, I didn't see any, but there probably was. But it was amazing. Like, look at those pictures. It's just such a miracle. Imagine, like, you have the
landing.
greatest pilot on earth
Yeah.
saves everybody by landing.
And it wasn't like a crash landing. It was like just they glid in.
And you know something? What would you think if you're a pilot? You're going to land on the river. Would you put the landing gear down? No. Because if you put the landing gear down, that
It's
would hit the
gonna be
water
like-
and flip the plane
Oh,
right over.
shit.
So he has to land on the plane's belly. That'll just slide.
Like a
yeah.
skipping a rock.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wait, I have heard of this before. I forget who it is, but there is a comedian who has a bit about this.
there's also, they did a TV show, and
I had
Tom
heard
Hanks
about
played
this
Sully
too.
Sullenberger.
Yeah.
I just remember the bit because he goes, and his name was Sully.
Yeah.
Saying like, yeah, if there's gonna be any guy who's gonna land on water, it's gonna be
It's
him.
going to be Sully. Well, he was nicknamed Sully because his last name obviously was Sullenberger.
Oh, right.
Sounds like it's a German
What's
name.
his real name?
I don't know his first name.
Chelsea.
Chelsea
Stop.
Sullenberger.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think
Sully's
he must
better.
have been in the service. He must have learned how to be a pilot in the service. But
That's badass.
He was a real hero, though, man.
Did he stop flying after this, or he kept going?
I think he worked a couple more years, and then I think he probably wrote a book, probably did all kinds of stuff.
He had to just coast off his fame.
He was a really low-key guy, too. Not, didn't love the limelight, but, he was the real deal,
I bet he got a lot of ass after this. I'm sure a lot of women were in his DM.
At least everyone on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They loved him. But that was a cool job to go to.
Wow,
and then, of course, 9/11, we all responded to.
My dad was a Teamster, and so he was there, like, picking up they called all the Teamsters in to help clean up.
The people that had got the worst health problems from 9/11 were the iron workers.
Oh, yeah?
Because they were there the whole, for 9 months straight.
Oh, wow. Cleaning up the metal, right?
And they had to, cut steel to separate it and stuff.
Oh, wow.
I've seen some of them I go to the World Trade Center physical every year. I've seen some of them are green and brown and stuff. They
Whoa.
have these exotic cancers that are horrible, A lot of more people have died from 9/11 cancers than died that day.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, so it's a horrible thing.
Did you get called to 9/11 how soon after it happened?
As it was happening, I was at the 2-3. I stayed overnight. I actually worked the Michael Jackson concert the night before, doing private security.
Michael Jackson died. When did he die?
I don't even remember when he died.
He died June 25th. I don't remember what year.
But Michael Jackson, it was the first time the Jackson 5 had played together for I don't know how many years.
Wow.
And they played at Madison Square Garden. I think they did 2 nights, and the second night was, I think it was
Michael Jackson died in 2009.
2009.
2009. Okay.
Yeah, I remember. Well, anyway, I stayed over the precinct, and the PAA, the police administrative aide, goes, "Some plane just hit the World Trade Center," and was thinking, "Oh, it must have just been a little plane." And then some genius on the network got the idea to slow it down and said, "That's a 747. That's not a little plane." And then when the Pentagon got hit and the other tower got hit, there was no doubt it was a terrorist attack,
And then how quickly did you get down there?
We jumped in a car, me and 3 detectives, and they emptied the FDR Drive because only emergency vehicles could go. So I guess we got down there right as I watched the second building come down.
Whoa!
That's when we got there.
You watched it come down.
But we were what street were we at? We were at South and Pike, and we were walking towards Canal Street, and that's when I saw the building.
Did it look like explosives to you?
Oh, it was amazing how it just sort of folded.
Yeah.
And it fell straight down, but you were just and the sound of like so loud, like a train coming,
Wow.
And it's a sight I'll never forget. And I didn't realize, but as we left the 2-3 precinct on East 102nd Street, I heard someone scream and say, "The building just came down." And that was the first one. And then we went down the FDR Drive, and we got to South and Pike walking toward Canal. The second one came down.
Do you think what do you think? Do you think it was like an inside job? Do you think it was truly just terrorists?
No, I think it was terrorists. I don't buy into all those conspiracy theories. I mean, I think there can be a conspiracy theory about almost anything,
It's true. Okay.
But I think it was really a terrorist attack. And look, I think things are going to happen now, There's terrorist acts being planned as we speak, And I think we're less safe now than we were back then because, look, they opened the borders to 15 to 20 million people, unvetted people. Mm-hmm. What is that all about? How did they do that? Why was that okay?
It was the auto pen.
Yeah, the auto pen. No, but what it really was, and I'm not MAGA. People say, "You MAGA?" No, I'm not. But what
you don't
it
like
was,
Trump?
Something, I like his policies. I think he's an extremely flawed human being. I mean, even what he said recently about Carl Reiner, to me, that's a sacred thing.
Yeah, that was unnecessary.
No, but that's a sacred thing. You don't say something about the dead.
Oof.
Someone dies, you don't.
Oh yeah.
You don't double down
agree.
and step on their face.
He should have just said nothing. Like, I know that guy was just really came after him a lot and attacked him a lot and had bad TDS. But it's like, you're the president, dude. You're supposed to be better than that.
He's like a child. He's like a child. If someone says something against him, he doubles down and does it twice.
Yeah.
And I like some of his I like that he's blowing up these narco boats. I love that. Some of the policies, I mean, I know as getting older, like as you get more health problems, I can't imagine people not having health insurance. Or when I hear people paying $1,800 or $2,000, $2,500 a month for health insurance, I'm like,
wow,
that's wrong.
I went like many years not having any, just like when I was in between.
Yeah,
jobs.
when you're younger, you can roll the dice.
Yeah.
But if you get older, even the amount of drugs you take would break you, you know?
Yeah.
But even my son just got married a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. He's paying like $1,200 a month for health insurance out of his pocket.
Wow, that's like rent. Yeah.
It's ridiculous, you know? And that's what our country has to do something about. So what you did about it was brought in 15 or 20 million people that'll now take away the resources
that we now
from American citizens that don't have health insurance.
We have to pay for their health insurance now.
Yeah.
And they get free phones.
It always seems like there's plenty of money for that bullshit, but there's not plenty of money for disabled veterans.
Plenty of money for like the new crop of Democrat voters, but yeah, not the veterans.
I think, you know, look, and believe me, I'm not a liberal or socialist at all, but what I have from the police department, insurance-wise, is amazing. As long as I stay alive, my wife is paid for too. You know, she had breast cancer a couple of years ago. It paid everything. Wow. Everything. I was like, could you imagine we didn't have health insurance? First of all, they probably wouldn't have even treated you, you know? And
you have to go on YouTube and figure out how to do it yourself.
Yeah, right.
Wow. Yeah, it is crazy.
No, but I mean, as you get older, you'll see if you don't have health insurance, you're screwed. And that's a major problem with our country right now, I think. You know, and then they're like I don't know anything about Obamacare, I really don't, but supposedly people get paid or for having it, and they're going to cut that out soon.
Okay, yeah, I don't know anything about Obamacare either.
Chrissie, can you adjust yourself? Your camera's autofocus is like, you're blurry.
Adjust myself? What about now? Like, oh my God. And then the mic just came off in my hand. Oh, Lord. I don't even know.
Oh, you guys edit this, I guess, huh?
No, we don't. We just...
you just fly by the seat of your pants like I do.
This is the highlight.
Is this all the chat?
Yeah. While I'm fixing this microphone, let's go to some of these super chats.
The chat?
Let's address the chat. Aldo, thank you for the $1.99. Will the LAPD ever find my backpack that was stolen at my gym?
Negative.
That's a very specific question.
No one's looking for it.
No one's looking. It's your backpack. Push-ups. Thank you for the $2. What were the 80s like for a cop? Ooh, great question.
It was very busy. It was when the crack wars were going on. It was very violent. People that were on crack were robbing everybody because a crack high is very short.
Because what, crack gives you super strength?
Well, it also gives you like that you need more. And, you smoke a couple of vials and now you need more money to buy more. So thus they breaking in. People used to put in their car, no radio, everything's already been stolen, because people used to break into cars.
Oh, this mic here. Maybe I'm just gonna hold it. Wow. So crack was whack. Crack was there. Were you afraid for your life every day?
Was I? No. I had the month before I went on the police department, and my birthday is December 14th, right? I just
happy birthday.
December 14th, 1984. It was actually December 15th. I was held up at gunpoint inside Stuyvesant Town.
Did you say it's my birthday?
No, I didn't say that, but it's a long story. But my roommate, his girlfriend, who is now his wife, was shopping with his two kids from his previous marriage on Avenue A somewhere, and they walked into Stuytown, and this mutt followed them into the building and pulled a gun on them on the elevator.
Whoa!
And
just to rob them, or
to rob them? But she said to him, "I have $500 in a gold chain. Please take it. Just leave me alone." He goes, "No, baby, we're going up to your apartment."
Whoa!
So as the elevator got scary. Up to the 12th floor, I was waiting there with my younger brother because we were both bartenders at Pete's Tavern on 18th and Irving.
So you're waiting for the elevator on the ground floor?
No, I'm on the 12th floor.
Okay.
Where she's coming up to with the mope in the elevator.
Okay.
And the 2 kids. So as the elevator...
Wait, so she had kids with her?
No, these were his kids from a previous marriage.
Okay.
So when the elevator doors opened, I was confronted with this situation. But he had a bag of groceries covering the gun, so I couldn't see the gun. But I knew something was very wrong because I could see she and the kids were terrified. So she was smart. She says, her name was Phyllis. She says, "Could you help me with my keys? I'm having problems with my keys."
She said that to the guy or to you?
To me. So I opened the apartment door. He followed us in, stuck the gun in my face. He goes, "This is a stick up." I'm like, "Oh, fuck." And he goes, "Call that guy from the hallway. Tell him to come in here."
Wait, you were a cop at this time?
No, I wasn't a cop. I was going on the job the next month.
Oh, shit.
So he starts to rob us, and then he thinks he's going to start tying us up. And I'm like, I am not getting tied up. No fucking way am I getting tied up. Everything that can happen to you after you get tied up is bad.
Uh-oh.
So he starts getting...
You hear that, ladies?
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
He's very nervous, and he's moving the gun back and forth. It's when he had it over here, I hit him across his chest with my forearm and grabbed the gun. And
wow.
He fired 4 shots at us. I felt the bullets flying by me. And
oh, my God.
My brother got hit in the stomach. But my brother was like, he was like 5'11", 225, like a fucking animal, right?
Whoa. He went through his stomach?
No, I hit him right here, and it lodged against his rib.
Whoa.
He knocked both of us into the vestibule. We got on the ground, and he actually bit the guy's wrist and made him let go of the gun. We got the gun from him. We beat the shit out of him, unconscious.
How fun!
Called the police, and that was a month before I went in the police department. Anyway, the guy was on patrol he was on parole for murder, so he was a bad MFer. This guy,
yeah.
And so that was my introduction to.
Did you tell people that story when you?
I don't
started?
tell everyone that.
That's a great story.
It is a good story, but something that's not how you want to,
Are you kidding me?
Yourself.
If I would tell that at every party I ever went to, every holiday, every PTA
in the first
meeting.
Few years I would tell, but my brother who was hit was shot. That defined his life. I think.
Really.
In a bad way, mostly. I think he had a lot of PTSD from it. He had also, he was an alcoholic, and he became like a prescription drug addict. He died from that.
He tried to like numb it.
I think so, but I don't know if it was specifically about that. Would he have became as bad if that had never happened to him? Maybe, I don't know.
And it could have shaped his life in a positive way because he was a hero.
Yeah, it could have, but it didn't. It went the other way. But I don't know if you can blame it on that. Look, we all have good and bad things that happen to us, and it's how you respond to it that defines who you are, really, I think. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to sit here and act like I'm a motivational speaker. I'm not.
You could be.
I definitely lived my life like that. Like, I believe that when you get knocked on your ass, you got to get back up. Mm-hmm. I think most people think that, or else you couldn't survive on this earth, right?
Yeah. If you're not going to pull yourself up, who else is going to?
No one.
Oh, wow. Okay, let me see if there's any other questions for you here. Aldo for $1.99. I'm funny and also hot and sexy, Chrissy. We can be both. What?
That's when you were talking about comedians.
Oh, right. Of course. Yes, Aldo, you are everything. Rhinoceros for $19.99. Thank you, Ryan. Bill's opinion comes with experience, which is why I have to ask about Building 7 on that day.
There's so many people that say that the government purposely took that down themselves because...
is that the Pentagon? No, what building?
No, that was the building that supposedly had all that gold in the bottom, too.
Oh, right.
And I was there. I actually was like one of those, when that Godzilla comes in those Japanese movies, I was one of the people running as I saw that building coming down.
Whoa.
But we had advance notice that 7 was coming down. Because they told us it's moving, it's going to come down. Because I guess they had some laser on it.
Okay, wow.
And they could tell that it was moving, and they said, that building's coming down. Everyone get the hell away from it. And sure enough, it came down.
How did they tell people? Like, how did they tell people in the area that it was going to come down?
Well, we had police radios. They would say, that building number 7 move away from it.
Would you be like announcing it from the car, like onto the streets or people?
We were just on the street, in our uniforms. We were told some way, and I believe it was by radio, that building was going to come down because they had a laser trained on it and they could see it was moving.
I used to work with a girl when I worked at a hedge fund. She was like, she was there, and she told me the story of her like running too. Like she was in the area. I forget what bank she worked for, but she was like running and like ran into like either a Starbucks or like a deli or something, and like people were like jumping on top of each other, like just piling up, and like the dust and everything was like whoosh, like went past and sounded crazy.
Well, I think what really may have saved my life on 9/11 was that as we were driving down there, I worked with a detective named Billy Hicks. I was with Billy Hicks, Zedekiah Jennings.
Not Bill Hicks, the comedian.
No, not him. And Jimmy Zarakis. And Billy Hicks said, as we were driving down there, he goes, don't drive right down to the building. He goes, let's park at South and Pike. And that decision may have saved our lives because we didn't go right to where the buildings were falling. We went blocks away and walked there.
And he did that because he thought they might come down?
He suggested that to me, and I said, yeah, let's do that. You're right. We'll never get out of there if, something bad happens.
Whoa.
So sometimes, but as a boss, I always listen to my people under me, because
most bosses don't do that.
I do,
Shut up, Matt. No, I'm kidding.
But that was, and look, so many people have much more horrific stories about 9/11 than I do. Mine was basically uneventful. We were there and we responded. We did what we had to do. I got there just enough after it that most people had gotten out.
Did you guys pull anybody out? Like, did you
look
into
at that point they had sealed it like off. And I walked toward it. I could see the buildings burning. We were just a couple blocks away.
Wow.
It did look like one of those like movies where, what was that with Charlton Heston, The Planet of the Apes, where you see.
Oh, wow.
It was really, and I hate so many people overuse the word surreal. It's surreal, but it really was, it was something. And again, when I responded to that, I was like, this is a historic event. This is unbelievable. This is something I could tell my grandkids about. But I wouldn't take any pictures because I felt taking pictures was very disrespectful.
But a lot of other people did. So
no, but I always wish that I had pictures of me and the guys I was with at least. Yeah,
you guys should have done a couple selfies.
No, but that was before cell phones. Well, not before cell phones, but before cameras on cell phones.
Oh, right. You could have run and gotten
bought one of those throwaway cameras. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But I had always wished that I had pictures from that just for the guys, not,
You could make some with AI now.
Yeah, not of like all the debris and all the things you saw, but the people that I was with,
Yeah.
I would have liked that. But
are they all still alive?
Yeah. In fact, I think, this year coming up is going to be 25 years. No.
You guys should get together, do a brunch.
Yeah, I've done a podcast with them.
Okay.
But the 25-year anniversary, maybe we should do something.
You should.
Yeah.
You should definitely do something. Push-ups for $5. My neighbor was a sergeant in the 34th precinct on 9/11. His proudest accomplishment was how the NYPD was able to evacuate 1 million people from Lower Manhattan.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that many people, but they did evacuate a lot of people. Look, a lot of civilians have stories about how they got out of there,
People walking home, people like walking on the bridge. Yeah.
She was heading into work on the Sawmill River, and she just had to turn around and go back home because they closed the city. Wow. One of the smartest things they did, too, was shut down airspace. Because how do we know there weren't more planes heading for more targets?
Right.
So they shut the airspace down. Look, when I talk about things like this now, it seems so long ago.
It does. I was a freshman in college, and I just watched it on TV.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem real. It just seemed like you were watching a movie.
Yeah. And for a couple of weeks, we were heroes. And then that wore off, and then we were...
where's my free coffee?
Fuck you, cops.
They said never forget.
Yeah.
Why am I out here paying for my own coffee? I'm a hero, damn it. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Were there any more questions for Bill?
No, from Super Chats.
Okay, now yeah, disposable cameras from CBS. Wow, but I can't believe you were there at 9/11. That's really neat.
Well, and then, we did duties connected with it. We'll go to the bereavement center. That was horrible.
Oh, what was that
People
like?
would come there and, my husband's missing or my son's missing. And it was terrible. And detectives would interview the people as what was the person wearing, where do you live, where did the person work, fully knowing that the person was dead,
Aye.
But there's still a huge percentage of people that have never been recovered.
Because they just been like eviscerated?
Well, according to Dr. Hirsch, who was the New York City medical examiner at the time, he said, someone told me that, I think I took the homicide course, and someone said that he gave a speech in another country in front of 10,000, 15,000 doctors from all over the world. And after he was done, they gave him a standing ovation. And he had said that the reason people weren't found is because they were vaporized. And a lot of the families didn't like that he said that, but he was just telling the truth.
Yeah. What do they think happened?
No, but never in mankind in history had that amount of force went from 110 stories up straight down. What do you think is going to happen to human bodies with that amount of force? They're going to really just disappear.
And you hope it's at least quick.
Yeah. I worked at the morgue too for a while after that. Not every day, but a bunch of times. I never saw bodies in that condition in my life, ever. And I'd seen a lot of murders, like shootings, all kinds of
Just
deaths.
what, like pieces of people and things?
Sometimes they would just put a foot on the gurney,
and then
just a foot.
At least they have something, they put the tag on the toe and it's just a foot.
Well, they would do the same thing to every body part. Photograph it, take DNA and x-ray it, and then put it in a refrigerator or whatever.
And like the wife comes, be like, well, the good news is we recovered your husband's body. The bad news is it's just his foot.
Well, I thought you were going to tell the joke if there was just the head. The moral of the story is quit while you're ahead. That's a terrible
Or he got a foot in the door.
Yeah, you got a foot in the door. No, but it was really hard. And I would see firemen come in still in their fire department jackets. And sometimes it would look like, you ever see those like gorilla masks where there's nothing inside of them? Mm-hmm. That's what it looked like. Like there was skin and they're all...
You mean dead firefighters or no?
Yeah, dead firefighters.
Oh, man.
And you would see inside the head, there was nothing there.
What?
Yeah, because it all got like crushed. And then you would just see
like the bones were crushed.
everything was, there was nothing there. It was just skin on the outside. And there was nothing like it. It was just,
wow.
And as I said, I never saw anything like that before in my life.
Wow.
And it was tough to see, And I remember when I would work in the morgue, I would take Vicks Vapor Rub and just wipe it on the inside of my mask.
So you wouldn't have to smell.
Right, exactly.
That's really smart.
Yeah, well, because it was horrible to smell it too. And I mean, this is pretty graphic.
You don't think in the morgue they have like a deal with like an air freshener company? Like they just sprays every couple of minutes?
Nothing takes away that it's horrible.
Oh, man.
And look, a lot of people still have PTSD from 9/11,
Yeah.
I've been all right with that kind of stuff. Sometimes I think I have a level of PTSD, but not from 9/11, from like things I've seen.
Like what?
Murders, dead crime scenes.
Yeah, just a bad scene.
Yeah, there's something called hypervigilance, that you're hypervigilant because you're always afraid someone's going to kill you. Mm-hmm. I have some of that, I think.
I had that after my dad was murdered. Like I just was like, and even still, like a little bit, like they still haven't
I can't
found the guy.
Solved that.
They haven't. Like, at what point does a case like that go?
Well,
it's considered cold.
Cold now. It's considered cold, but
yeah, it's been 2
still
years.
Be working on it, Excuse me.
I don't know. It just seems like BS to me. Like that they.
I don't understand. It seems like they had a lot of evidence and a lot of leads. I mean, video in the complex and all.
Well, apparently they didn't get any video from outside that there was no ring camera footage like outside the condo itself, and that there was a ring camera footage like from the gate, like the entrance gate, and so I don't know. Maybe I just need to like call them more, but I don't know. I don't feel like there's anything.
Yeah, I think you got to keep the pressure on,
Yeah.
And you know something that I told you off the air, Barbara Butcher is a good friend of mine. And she's on that TV show, The Death Investigator, on the Oxygen Network. And I'll mention this, your father's case to her. And I don't know if they'll do cold cases. They usually do cases that are successfully solved. And she just finished actually the first season of that show.
Oh, cool.
And I think it was successful, so I would imagine there'll be a season 2. I get called every once in a while to be on these homicide shows. I was on a couple of them last year, and I mean, I like doing that, you know, and especially when with the cases that I worked.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like
yeah,
to do that, you know, and it was funny. I did one last year, and this big retired detective walks into the bar where they were shooting me, and he says, "Hello, sir. How are you?" And I go, "Flannery." I go, "Are you fucking kidding me? I'm Sergeant Cannon." "Oh, Sergeant!" You know, they recognize me.
Oh.
But if you see someone out of their context and you haven't seen them in a long time, like as soon as I told him who I was, he was like, "Oh, you know."
Yeah, it's like when I see the Dunkin' Donuts employees like not at Dunkin' Donuts just walking around, I go, "No, what's up, Norma?" I know them all by name. Most of them. Yeah, most of them. Is that weird?
Good.
So, okay, let me see. Phil Vecchio for $2 says, "I was in 8th grade then. NYPD showed us bravery." Yeah, not like those pussies in Australia who ran away from that recent shooting.
Oh, wow. That was horrible, that case, man. The Bondi Beach thing.
Push-ups for $5. My sister worked at a hospital in Manhattan on 9/11. They ran out of room in the morgue and had to use refrigerator trucks. Wow.
Well, it wasn't just because they ran out of. They had almost 3,000 bodies.
Wow.
And body parts, so they had to keep those refrigerated for years because DNA technology improved, and they made more and more identifications as the years went by through something called mitochondrial DNA, investigative genetic genealogy. They have all these different things, and they're still making IDs. You know?
Oh, wow.
But, you know, when someone in your family's dead for that long, I mean, I guess you have to have them declared dead or else you can't move on, right?
I guess, but you could probably put it together where they were and what happened.
Yeah, but then they'll issue a death certificate because of that. Yeah. There's a lot of fraud, too. People would show up. "Yo, my cousin was there. He was in that building. Yeah, give me 50. You know?
Really?
Yeah, and there was a lot of people got locked up for that, for reporting false deaths and stuff like that. Then when there's, you know, tragedy, and there's always people that take advantage.
People always take advantage. Yeah, I'm sure there's people in the rubble that were like, "Ooh, look at this tape dispenser," or like just picking out office supplies.
I heard there was one guy that just like dove onto the pile. You know, was like, "Oh shit, I survived."
What? No way.
Yeah.
By the way you said that, it sounds like it was a black guy who did that. Like, man, I jumped at it just the right time. I gotta go to the hospital.
Up from 5 stories down. You know, I
jumped on the pile. That's so crazy to me.
I had met some guy, and I had been taking an investigation course. I still remember his name. I think his name was Steve Steo. I think he was from a squad in Brooklyn. I hope that's his name. And there was a guy that worked at 9/11, and they called him the Mole. He was like a mountain climber.
Wow.
And he was so small, and he could climb down into the guts of the World Trade Center.
Whoa, like those cavers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Steve Steo was a climber too. So they rappelled down 5 stories into the World Trade Center. And he told me there was fully intact rooms.
Wow.
But he goes, they never found anyone, no survivors, no, they not even find any bodies. But I was like, that's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, like couldn't you conceivably run down to the basement?
No, but the way the building came down straight down, I guess certain things were like layered, and sometimes steel would hold certain things up. That's why when they removed the steel, they had to do it very methodically, because if they moved a piece that was holding a whole portion of it together, it could come down on them and kill them.
Wow.
So that's why to me, the steel workers, besides, look, obviously the firemen were huge heroes, cops, the Port Authority, all the people that responded, they were huge heroes, but firemen, New York City firemen lost 343 firemen that
Wow.
day, But the steel work was on unheralded, and they were cutting the steel as they were looking for survivors. And I remember I volunteered to work on the pile a couple of times, and I remember I was like, everyone quiet. Everyone would get eerily quiet. Like they thought they were going to hear someone underneath hitting the steel with something.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was just to keep everyone's
Hopes up?
Yeah, hopes up, or did they really hear things? But after the first day, I think, there were no survivors, So.
Sorry, we're talking about 9/11, guys.
I don't know how we got on that the whole time.
No, it's very cool. Let's talk about another horrible tragedy. So actually, the Brown shooting, I wanted to get your take on that because I know there's been some updates now. I guess the killer's body was found recently. But apparently Brown University was withholding a lot of the security footage, I think, because to me, it just sounds like it was like an Islamic type, like a radicalist or an activist. And to me, it just sounds like they were protecting this person. Like, why would you not give the police your footage?
Well, I've been covering that on my podcast, Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. And it seemed like it was a targeted shooting, that the shooter specifically targeted Brown University.
He was like, I'm Brown. I don't like the name of this school.
He specifically knew where he was going. He went to a lecture hall that had about 200 students in that were studying for a final exam.
What was the subject?
Some engineering course. And he went in there. He knew there was no cameras. And this was like an older building, and supposedly Brown University has 1,200 cameras on their campus, which is 1/4 of a mile square. So why was there no cameras on this building? And allegedly there's witnesses that say when he started shooting, he yelled Ali Akbar.
Ali Oxenfree.
Yeah, God is great. Is that what that means? I think.
Yeah.
And that's unconfirmed, but the witness that said that, I believe, was the teaching assistant that saw him eyeball to eyeball. Was he coached after he said that not to say it again? I want to know, did that really happen? Because if that really did happen, that's really important part of the investigation.
Yeah, then you know the motive.
Yeah, it makes him a terrorist, But if he didn't say it, that changes the whole thing. But why did he pick Brown University, and why did he pick this specific lecture hall? And then why was the university, I don't know if you watched the press conferences, it was pathetic. The mayor is this guy named Smiley, a young guy, and all that, they're just talking about bullshit. And first of all, politicians, get the fuck off the stage. Mm-hmm. We don't need you trying to get your next election votes. Let the professionals, let the police, let the FBI, let them have the microphone.
Yeah,
you need to shut the fuck up,
What could they possibly provide?
There's no credible threat. This is what the mayor's saying.
For like days.
Yeah, well, they found out who he was on the 6th day. And not that that's but the police didn't give a lot of confidence to the public. The chief...
No, they were very worried.
Excuse me. The chief spoke with a very thick Hispanic accent.
Which no one likes.
Which
isn't comforting.
It doesn't give a lot. And he wasn't very articulate.
No.
He didn't seem very knowledgeable. And the messaging for a situation like that was not done very well. And people depend on the messaging to calm the whole situation down. And when the law enforcement professionals aren't good speakers, maybe they shouldn't be up at the microphone presenting the messaging for a whole city that is now scared shit that this shooter may come back.
Wow. Yeah, that seems obvious.
So, but yeah, these cases, and then it turned out that the Brown University shooter, a couple of days after the Brown University shooting, he killed an MIT professor in Massachusetts, in Brookline, Massachusetts.
So went from Providence, Rhode Island to Massachusetts.
To Brookline, which is about 52 miles away.
Just has something.
And what was the connection
against
between
higher ed?
Yeah, what was the connection with the Brookline, the professor at MIT. What was that? No one knows.
Maybe these are all places he was rejected from. Like he didn't, this is what you're supposed to do when you get rejected from your dream school. You're supposed to, take the L, go to Nassau Community College, crush it, get all A's, then graduate, then be like
and then go to Buff State like I did.
Yeah, go to Buffalo State, just like have a glow up, and then you can, rub it in their faces.
This is a strange world we live in. It's like, in some places it always baffles me. And law enforcement has become demonic in a lot of places, probably because look how our population goes against ICE.
Mm-hmm.
Immigration and customs enforcement. It's like they're the enemy because everyone's remembering their buddy who's the porter at their favorite restaurant, or as a waiter, or as a landscaper. And I agree. I mean, I don't really think those people should be targeted, but let's face it, they brought 15 to 20 million people into this country. For what purpose was that? Why couldn't they have allowed them to come in here legally? And it's not like there's not people in our country that are poor and don't have health insurance and don't have jobs.
That need the resources.
Yeah, need the resources. A lot of neighborhoods, like poor black neighborhoods, they're against all of this, illegal immigration. And then there's all euphemisms. Oh, they're migrants. No, they're illegal aliens.
They're illegals. Yeah.
Right. And go into their country and see if you can get away with the same shit that they...
Yeah.
See how many resources they give you.
Yeah, you could get a free iPhone in Venezuela. I doubt it.
Look what they did in the city when they would just bring them in and
they get to
in by buses.
Have the run of the hotels and just absolutely demolishing these places.
And I'd like to know, is New York City going to go bankrupt over that? Who's going to pay that bill?
Who's bailing that out?
Is the state going to do that?
I don't know. They probably got a bailout from Trump, I would guess.
No, I think it would come from the state, maybe from Hochul. She's another Democrat.
Yeah.
But I don't think Trump would bail him out. I'd be like, no way.
I'd be like,
but I just don't look. Politicians don't always have our best interest in mind, and including Republicans, And I'm not saying, because look, I don't want to get on my soapbox again, but
get on it.
There's a lot of people that are poor, a lot of people that aren't doing well in this country, and shouldn't we be giving our resources to them and helping them?
Yeah, definitely veterans. Like they should be number one priority.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love how that one foundation. What's the one? The Brooklyn Bridge thing where they run. I can't think of it now. They give homes to veterans.
Oh.
They give them free homes, disabled veterans. That's great.
That's awesome.
It's like Lieutenant Dan. That guy, what a hero. That guy should be a saint, right?
From Forrest Gump?
Yeah. The actor Gary Sinise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What a tremendous human being,
So you're talking about his character in
his character in Forrest Gump lost both his legs. Yeah. But just the fact that he's in his real life, he gives so much back to veterans and stuff. And I don't know if he was a veteran, but did that role in Forrest Gump change his life that much that he wanted to give back?
He was like, oh, it's really hard for me to get women having no legs. And he probably changed his life.
I went to a homicide one time. That just reminded me of a joke. I went to a homicide one time, and this one-legged guy shot and killed the block bully,
Oh, wow.
And so the duty captain, or the detective duty captain, comes to the scene. And I had just gotten into the detective bureau as a sergeant. And he comes up to me, goes, Sarge, he goes, what do you know about this homicide? I go, well, this one-legged guy shot and killed the block bully. And he goes, well, what's everyone saying? I said, they're saying he don't have a leg to stand on. And the captain didn't even crack a smile. No. But he couldn't hold it. He eventually cracked a smile.
So you said it with a straight face. And then...
so they're saying he doesn't have a leg to stand on. And he tried to stay serious, and then he just busted out laughing after that.
That's awesome.
It's funny.
That's good.
You don't have a sense of humor to in life.
You have to.
Too long, right?
especially when like horrible shit is happening.
Yeah.
In hot water for $2. Please ask Sergeant Bill, are molemen real?
Or what?
Molemen?
This is when you were talking about 9/11.
Oh, the molemen.
Yeah, the guy, the mole was a real guy at 9/11 that would go climb into the depths of the World Trade
What's his
Center.
name? Hans?
I don't know his name.
Okay.
You go looking for people into the depths of the world. And same thing with the cadaver dogs. The cadaver dogs, a lot of them got hurt because they had to get them booties because they were cutting their paws on the steel and stuff, you know?
No.
And they were going onto the pile searching for bodies, but they had to figure a way that they wouldn't cut their paws. Yeah. So they were getting them little booties and stuff so they could go and search for bodies.
Boots for the dog.
You know, 9/11, there was like a little city down there. You know, it was so huge. And for the first couple of days, they didn't have the security really well because crazies were coming in there. And then
Why?
because they wanted to see what was going on. They wanted to see what they could steal. They wanted to see what, you know. And then they finally got it secured. And if you were caught inside that, you would get arrested for trespass.
Wow.
But it took days for them to get the shit together because, and you know, it was funny. There's stories, insider stories. They found out that a lot of the trucks that were taking the steel away were mob-owned trucks. But well, what are they going to do? You know, this is a huge disaster. We're going to say, oh, let's see, you work for the Genoveses or the Colombos, you know?
Yeah.
They didn't check that shit, you know? And then people would donate these huge lights and donate this and that. And people would steal shit, you know?
What if like the halal carts were like, oh, if you need to put that foot on ice, you can use my cooler.
Oh, yeah, God.
Wow.
There's all kinds of stories, you know?
Do you have any like fun, happy stories?
Yeah, I do, but I can't just think of them now.
You really should write a book.
You know, I wish that I had kept a journal because a lot of things that you do or have done, you forget. You really do, you know, like I've had cops come up to me and say, hey, remember when we did this and that and you jumped up? And I have no recollection whatsoever. And I'm like, yeah, I remember that, you know. Look, there's so many, I did almost 27 years. There's so many stories. There's so many jobs you went to.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many interactions you've had with people. And, you know, so you can't remember everything, you know.
How many times did you feel like you were going to die?
A couple times, you know. I was in plain clothes for 6.5 years. There was a lot of dangerous shit done with that, you know. And, look, I loved being a cop. You know, when I was really a cop out on the street, plain clothes, I loved that job. I love anti-crime to me.
What did you have to do? Like pretend to buy drugs or like?
No, we weren't involved in the drug trade. What we were looking for were robberies, guns, street crime. You know, assaults, things like that. And it was exciting because you could blend in. You can watch the crime go down, and move in after they had completed the crime when they thought they were victimizing someone and they're getting away, running away, and you're set up on them and they run right to you.
Oh, wow.
Which was amazing, you know. So, no, we had so much. It was a lot of fun. I tell you, I loved it so much. I used to love coming to work. I loved the job.
Oh, wow. You were made for it. That's exciting. Let me see if there's any more questions for Bill in the chat. I know, I'm still upset about the doggies too, Carrie. You need their little boots.
Don't eat some doggy booties.
Were your wife and kids worried about you? I would be so worried. I don't know
if they were. I mean, you know, maybe my wife was, maybe she wasn't. I think the way a lot of cops' wives deal with things, they don't think about it, you know.
They drink.
No, well, not my wife didn't drink to excess, at least, you know.
I would be worried sick. I couldn't handle it. I don't know. I'd have to be like creep. Maybe I'd be like just hanging out around the office, and I'd be like, I would like try to distract him, and be like, I am gonna go steal something so he wouldn't have to do anything dangerous. Interesting. So tell me about your podcast, Police Off the Cuff. What's your podcast like for people who've never heard of it? What can they expect?
Police Off the Cuff is a true crime podcast. We cover national stories, and I try as often as I can to get a guest. But if I can't get a guest, sometimes I'll go solo. I have this other retired sergeant who's an attorney and a professor. He comes on quite often. And I have another guy who's a retired detective. He comes on. But I'm at like I have almost 96,000 subscribers. And I think I should be much further along than I am, And it frustrates me because I think my show is really good. But I see other people have 100, 200. I'm like, why are they going further than I am? I think I'm better than them, I don't know. A lot of it is technique. A lot of it's hitting the algorithm.
Yeah.
A lot of it's how you post shit. There's so much to it. And I'm not a great computer guy. I'm lucky I can do this at all. But I do everything. I run the board. I put the videos up. I get the guests. I interview the guests. I do the research. So I have like 3,200 episodes.
Wow.
And, but some of them could be 60-second clips.
Okay.
But most of my shows, most of them are over an hour.
Yeah.
And like even this Brown University, it's trending. So I started doing it this week. It's getting 13,000 views, 11,000.
That's great.
But, but to really make money on YouTube, you got to have, 40,000 views, 50,000,
Yeah.
and then you may make money. And luckily, I told you about this company at Believe Network that I take my YouTube videos and I make them into audios, make them an MP3, and I load them up on Believe, and Believe puts them on 30-something listening podcasts, Spotify, Apple, all these different, and they put national commercials on them. I make more money on Believe than I make on YouTube, which is unbelievable.
Better
and that's
believe
what's
it.
keeping my show, keeping me in business. Or else I'd be like, if I relied on what I make from YouTube, you can make money on YouTube, but you probably have to have 150, 200, 300. Then you can make decent money.
Yeah. I wonder what it takes to make money on YouTube.
It takes a lot. And I think it's hitting the algorithm too.
Yeah.
It's how you name the show. It's all kinds of bullshit that has nothing to do with...
The search engine optimization.
Yeah, SEO, yeah.
The, what you're talking about. Are there any other, like big podcasts on YouTube that are similar to what you do?
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. And,
maybe try to collaborate with them, like reach out to them.
I've done all of that. I've had some really good guests on. I don't really like collaborating with someone. I just, there's some people that are just absolute fucking retards, but have 400,000 subscribers.
Yes, it's true.
And I'm like, how is this guy? How is he doing this?
A lot. Well, some of them, like if they got into like YouTube early, like 2006, like the golden years of it, then it was much easier to get subs and everything went further.
Well, look, the guy we did comedy with, Tommy Grassi. He's got 940,000 subscribers. And he's a very specific niche. He does the NFL.
He does what was it?
Packcast.
The
Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers.
He doesn't do that anymore. He does the whole NFL now.
Oh.
But I watched his show, and I'll say right now, he's way better than me. He's an actor, and he edits shit. My show goes out live, mistakes in, everything in.
Like this show.
Yeah, exactly. But
we actually added more mistakes in post.
But if you have 940,000 subscribers and you do the numbers he's doing, he's making probably over $1 million a year.
Wow.
I don't know if people think I'm bullshitting out there.
We should send him Matt, remind me to send him a Christmas card.
Yeah, with a request for money.
Yeah.
he will do a show, and I don't mean to plug his show, but I'm very impressed by him. He'll do a show, and 3 hours later, he'll have 65,000 viewers that have watched it already in 3 hours. I'm like, holy shit. Then you look at it the next day, it's got 140,000 views.
Wow.
And you get that amount of views, you can make, on that very show, $2-3 grand.
Wow.
And so I saw him do a show the other day. It was 2.5 minutes long. It had 240,000 views.
Wow. Let's get back in touch with Tom Grassi.
Yeah.
We'll have to have him on the show.
There's big money. It looks like that guy, that little Irish guitar player, singer, Ed Sheeran.
Oh, yes.
He has songs that have billions of views.
My fellow redheaded brother.
Do you know how much money he must be making just from YouTube?
I have no idea.
If you have a song that gets 1 billion views.
Well, also with a lot of musicians, the record label is going to take pretty big chunk of that.
I don't think there is record labels anymore. A lot of these guys don't need record labels. They don't do record. I'm telling you.
Well, for when you get that big, I think it's owned by somebody.
Ed Sheeran? I don't think so.
I can look it up.
He's not making his albums by himself.
You don't have. They don't need to. Like, look at someone like Van Morrison, who's an angry guy. He's an angry guy. I saw him interviewed one day, and I love Van Morrison's music. And I saw this guy say, "So Van, how you doing?" He goes, "I'm not doing too fucking good." He goes, "I write my songs and I don't get paid. I don't get fucking paid." And I was like, this guy's probably worth like, I don't know, a couple $100 million at least, right? Think of how many times a day Brown Eyed Girl is played on every radio station.
Every wedding, every bar mitzvah.
Exactly. And, you know, something, but he's right. So you think Van Morrison needs a record company anymore? I don't think he does.
Okay, is there a
It used to tell you, like, when your video had copyrighted music.
Okay.
Like what record label it was sent to, whether it was like UMG or like Universal Music Group, or the one that like Sony owns or something like that.
So we can't tell.
I don't know if it still does that actually, but yeah. To your point, one of his most famous songs, "Shape of You," does have 6.5 billion views.
How much do you think he made off of that? How much do you think he made off that?
What's that like?
Millions?
What's that like? $10 million or something like that? If it's
unbelievable.
I can't even comprehend it. No,
and it's like, even when someone does like a video that's a star, they may just do a trailer, and a trailer for a movie can get 10 million views, you know? There's so much money on YouTube. And the other thing is YouTube takes 30%. That's bullshit that they take that much. It really is.
Yeah, I guess you just get used to it.
No, but don't you think that's a little excessive?
It does seem a little excessive.
Isn't 30 kind of low compared to most
30%? I think it's a lot.
Most, I mean, I know other platforms take like 50.
Which platforms take 50?
Some of the like, well, there's really no competitor to YouTube, but like the live streaming ones.
Oh
like,
wow!
I use StreamYard and I pay them like $8.99 a year. I think it is $899 a year.
I pay like more than $100 a year.
StreamYard?
Yeah.
You must pay. It's like 80 something a month, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of. Yeah, I need a lot of money, storage.
But you can't. Right, you can't. Well, I delete a lot of the, because if you delete the videos off of StreamYard, they're still on YouTube.
Right.
But, you know, when I got hacked, all my video, people were like, "Where's my video?" Well, I'm hacked, and, you know, YouTube took me down.
So crazy that someone would hack your YouTube.
Well, they were trying to, they put videos. YouTube took me down.
Okay.
Because they put videos up on my channel that were against their community standards.
What kind of videos were they? These are like, I
don't even know, because I couldn't get on the channel to check.
These are some crazy Indians.
They took me down, and it was so frustrating. My emails got hacked, everything got hacked. It was like, you know, and at the time I had 95,000 subscribers, and I was like, imagine I can't start over. You know what I mean? I can't.
You could.
But I couldn't. I wouldn't. I just was like, I can't do that. I know how hard it was to get to there.
Yeah.
I'm not starting from zero, you know?
Yeah, it sometimes takes people, like I know people who it's taken them longer than you've been doing it to get, like, to have less than what you have. So it's all.
Do you know Tom Delgado?
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He has a show where he goes around, because he's a tour guide. And he also has a law degree. His father's a brain surgeon. And
wow.
I said, do people say to you, you know, brain surgeon? And you say, yeah, well, my father is, you know. Anyway, he has that show where he goes to different parts of the city and he talks about, oh, this is Williamsburg. And he gives a whole historical. Videos are great.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
I think he has like over 100-something thousand subscribers.
Okay. So you just want to get to 100,000 and you'll feel better.
I think 100,000 is a point where when you hit it, you'll get people's attention.
Okay.
And people will say, oh, shit, they have 100. You got to be good.
So you're 5,000 away from that.
Well, I'll be 4. I'm at 95,800 something.
Okay,
now.
So everyone subscribe to Bill's channel right now.
Off the cuff, there I am.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said, 95.8K.
Yeah.
Boom.
So I'm like, because I'm obsessed. I check it every single fucking minute.
Why are you obsessed?
Well, because I've been working hard at this, and I really think that when I hit 100,000, it'll start being almost
It
like...
won't. It'll be the same, and then you'll just focus on the next thing.
But you know something, as I said, I think and I don't know my exact numbers, but I think I grossed up 160 or 180,000 last year.
That's amazing.
But out of that, you pay a lot of bills. I pay a co-host about 13,000.
Wow.
And then I pay another guy about 4,000. And then I pay the people that make the video shorts. I'm paying them 12,000, 13,000. So
Jeez.
There's a lot of money that goes out. So I don't know. And then I don't know exactly how much I'm going to owe in tax because I pay tax at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm going to clear, but I know I work hard at it.
Sounds like you're doing great.
I told you, you bet. Don't do it. I'm not.
I know. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, no. It's all up to you now.
Okay.
Look, I led you to water. You fucking
and I have to drink it.
That's right.
Love a horse joke. Push-ups for $2. Do you think you can be Joe Pistone? What?
I had Joe Pistone on my show.
Oh, okay.
That's Donnie Brasco. The real Donnie Brasco is Joe Pistone. He's been on my show about 3-4 times. Joe was just on Joe Rogan a couple of months ago.
Oh, nice.
And he's old. He's in his 80s now, and he was really upset because his wife recently died. He got very emotional on Joe Rogan. And the guy who played Donnie Brasco, the actor, he was really tight with Joe Pistone and his family.
Cool.
And he got very emotional talking about him.
Oh.
But I had some. We interviewed Sammy the Bull Gravano.
I don't know who that is.
He was the underboss of the Gambino crime family.
Ooh, is there an underboss and an overboss?
The capo was John Gotti.
Whoa.
Was the big boss, and he was the underboss.
What does the underboss handle? Like restocking the fridge?
He kills a lot of people.
Oh.
He had 19 kills to his.
That's quite different.
To his credit, he's still alive too, and he lives in Arizona. And he has a podcast.
Could I get a job with the mob where all I do is restock the fridge?
I don't think so.
I have to cross that off my list too.
Sure.
Bill, you're the best. Where can people follow you and find you, and what's coming up?
I find topics and shows that are trending, and I do national stories that are trending. And as I said, I try to get guests, but I fly by the seat of my pants a lot. So I don't always plan my shows. If something's trending, I'll go, I'm going to go on right now. Because sometimes planning and then booking people, you got to deal with their schedule. Oh, I can't make it at 2. Can you do it at 6? No, I have a fucking life too, So sometimes I'll just go on the air I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
But I love I love the whole true crime thing. I love the true crime community. And the thing is, I believe I can talk the talk, but I also used to walk the walk. So I know what I'm talking about, and I've done a lot of the shit that I'm talking about. So I think that when you're looking for a true crime show that is really true crime, I'm authentic. And I did this shit, and I did it for the NYPD, the #1 police department on this earth,
Mm-hmm. Very cool. You lived a very cool life, and you're still doing cool things, Bill. Everyone subscribe to Bill's YouTube channel. Listen to his podcast, all the things.
And it's so great to see you, and I'm glad you're a mommy with 2 M's and a Y. Thank
you.
M-A-M-I.
Next time, we'll have to wake up the baby so you can meet him.
Yeah, I got to meet the baby.
But he's sleeping. But you'll see on your Christmas card.
I saw the Christmas card, and your son, what's his first name?
Frankie.
He looks Italian.
Yeah, that's what people say.
He looks more Italian. He doesn't have the red hair.
Why? What about a baby makes the baby look Italian?
He has the dominant genes. He looks Italian.
I can't wait to see what he looks like when he grows up a bit more. Because he already looks so Italian.
People keep saying that. When someone says, "Oh, they look Italian," I imagine like Mario and Luigi. I don't think he looks like.
It's just the features. He has the dark hair, and
he has great eyebrows.
Yeah. All those things are Italian features.
Bean. Oh, and he has chubby cheekies, and he's got like a strong jaw already.
That's great. That's excellent.
He's so strong. All he wants to do is pick up heavy things.
Oh, good.
And carry them around, and like. He also has like sometimes carries like a broom around, and Frank will be like, "Stop it! Let's give that back to your mommy."
Oh God!
Because that's for women.
Yeah.
Why'd you look at me when you said
I don't know.
You don't want,
I had to look at somebody.
you don't want to become a janitor or something, you know?
Like, don't do anything, any cleaning. Not in this house. He is a masculine child. You're first. That's funny. He's the best. Everybody have kids.
That's what Luca Brasi said in The Godfather.
Oh, yeah.
Don Corleone, may your first child be a masculine child. May your first grandson, whatever.
Does that mean like they could be a dyke lesbian? No, that probably meant
He wants a son.
A
He
dude.
wants
a boy.
yeah.
So fun. Thank you, Bill. It's been way too
great. I
long.
haven't seen you in a long time, and you look great. And
Oh,
congratulations
thank
on
you.
motherhood.
I'm so
comedy,
happy you're here because you're
and your
telling
podcast.
me how great I look. You'll make it to 100K. Just hang in
I
there.
know I'll do that, but then I won't be satisfied. I'll want
Right,
150,
you'll want
I
the next thing.
200. You're never satisfied.
You
I
put your
should
kids
be-
through college. You're already such a
I
success.
should be satisfied with, but Liz, if you don't challenge yourself,
It's true.
what do you got to live for? Right?
That's why you're a type A. You're just crushing it at
I
life.
am, and something. I'm not going to Australia and surfing 60-foot waves.
No, F that.
Did you watch that surfing movie on Netflix? It
No.
was freaking unbelievable. They were surfing like the biggest waves on earth. It was like incredible to watch.
I'm fine to just I was giving the baby a bath and he started peeing in the bathtub.
Oh, good.
I was like, this is enough surfing for me.
Yeah, that's for sure.
How much fun did we have? So much fun. Everyone subscribe, follow Bill, subscribe to Bill. Thank you for the super chats. And we'll see everybody on Monday with, who are we having on the show on Monday? We're going to have Gerard Michaels in studio, comedian Gerard Michaels on Monday, and Tuesday, comedian Lou Perez will be here. So just a fun couple episodes coming up before Christmas. We'll see everybody next time. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.